There's a moment that happens quietly, without warning, and most people don't recognize it until long after it's passed. Your dog looks at you differently, not the way they look at you when they want food, or when they hear the leash come off the hook. This is something else entirely. Slower, softer, like they're trying to memorize you. And if you knew what that look meant, you would have stayed a little longer. You would have put the phone down. Most people who have loved and lost a dog describe the same thing when they look back. A shift, a change in energy or behavior in the days or weeks before the end that they didn't fully understand at the time. Some call it intuition. Some call it coincidence. But science, animal behavior research, and thousands of first-hand accounts are beginning to tell a more grounded story. Dogs know. Not in the way humans know, with calendars and diagnoses and the slow dread of anticipation, but in their bodies, in their instincts, in the ancient wiring that has shaped them for thousands of years. They feel it coming. And when they do, they respond in ways that are achingly meaningful if you know what to look for. This video is for everyone who has been through it, everyone who is going through it right now, and everyone who wants to understand their dog more deeply before that time ever comes. The first thing most people notice is the withdrawal. A dog who was always underfoot, always in the center of activity, starts to drift toward the edges. They choose the quiet corner of the room instead of the couch. They sleep more, but not the deep, sprawling sleep of a healthy dog. It's a more deliberate stillness. They seem to be conserving something, or simply retreating inward in a way that is hard to articulate, but impossible to miss once you see it. This withdrawal is instinctual. It goes back further than domestication. Wild animals withdraw when they are vulnerable. It is a survival behavior, deeply embedded. Your dog is not rejecting you in those moments. They are following something ancient inside them that says, be still, be quiet, find a safe place. And the safest place they have ever known is usually somewhere close to you, just with a little more space around it. But here's where it gets more complicated and more beautiful, because not every dog withdraws. Some do the opposite. Some dogs in their final weeks or days become extraordinarily close. They follow their person from room to room. They lay their head on a knee and press in just a little harder than usual. They want contact, constant and quiet, not demanding, not anxious, just present. As if physical closeness is the thing they need most when everything else is uncertain. There are people who have described their dogs sleeping pressed against their back all night, every night, in the final weeks. Dogs who had never been particularly cuddly, suddenly becoming shadows. It is not separation anxiety in the clinical sense. It is something more like tenderness, a drawing close before a drawing away. And if you have experienced it, you know exactly what that sentence means. Alongside these changes in behavior, there is almost always a change in awareness. Dogs who were reactive, alert, quick to respond to sounds or movement, begin to settle into a kind of calm that their owners describe as unlike anything they had seen before. The alertness fades, but it doesn't feel like confusion or decline in those quiet moments. It feels like the opposite of restlessness. It feels like peace. Animal behaviorists note that this shift in awareness is partly physiological. The body is slowing. The sensory processing changes. But what owners consistently report goes a little beyond the clinical. They describe a quality of presence, a dog who is more here in some way than they have ever been, less distracted, less interested in the things that used to pull their attention, more focused on the people in front of them. There is also the matter of where a dog chooses to be. Hiding is a word that often comes up, and it can be alarming for an owner who doesn't understand what's happening. A dog who begins spending time under the bed, in the back of a closet, or in a quiet corner they've never shown interest in before, can cause real fear in the people who love them. The instinct to find an enclosed, private space is ancient. It is not about giving up. It is about safety. In the wild, a vulnerable animal seeks shelter. Your dog's definition of shelter may be under your bed, behind the couch, in the laundry room where your clothes smell like you. If your dog has started seeking those spaces, the most important thing you can do is not force them out. Sit near the entrance to wherever they have chosen. Let them know the space is safe and that you are close. You do not need to fill the silence. You do not need to do anything except be there. Sleep changes too, and in ways that are distinct from ordinary aging fatigue. Dogs nearing the end of their lives often shift their sleeping patterns in ways that don't follow any obvious external logic. They may sleep through hours that used to be active and then be awake and still at 3 a.m. They may choose to sleep in places with more light or more warmth. They may rearrange themselves more frequently, seeking a comfort that keeps moving just slightly out of reach. Watching a dog do this can be one of the more quietly heartbreaking things a person experiences, because the love you feel in that moment is enormous, and the helplessness sits right next to it. What you can do, practically, is make sure they are as comfortable as possible. Orthopedic bedding if they will use it. Warmth without overheating. Water close by. And your presence, which is not a small thing. It is, in fact, the most significant thing. Now we need to talk about the eyes. People describe this across breeds, across ages, across every kind of dog. In the final days, there is a quality in the way a dog looks at their person that is different from anything that came before. It is not distress. It is not confusion. It is something that looks, for all the world, like gratitude, like recognition, like the dog is doing something with that look that they do not have words for, because words were never their language, but they are saying it anyway. Scientists are careful about how they describe what dogs understand about death. But what is not in dispute is that dogs are extraordinarily attuned to the emotional and physical state of their humans and to their own bodies. They do not understand mortality in the abstract, but they understand presence and absence. They understand closeness. They understand that something is shifting, and in that look, whatever it contains, they are reaching for you. If your dog is looking at you like that right now, look back, hold it. Do not look away, because it is hard to take. That moment is not about grief. It is about connection, and it is one of the most real things two living beings can share. For those who are watching this from the other side of that loss, there is something worth sitting with. The things your dog did in those final days, the withdrawing, the closeness, the stillness, the way they looked at you, were not random. They were not just symptoms. They were communication. They were your dog being exactly who they were, all the way to the end, fully themselves, fully present with you. That is not a small thing to have witnessed. For those who are in it right now, the most valuable thing this video can offer is permission. Permission to follow your dog's lead. If they want to be held, hold them. If they want space, give it. If they want to be near you but not touched, just stay close. Speak to them in your normal voice, because your voice is one of the things they have loved their entire life. Your presence is not a burden to them, it is the opposite. And don't wait for the hard moments to pay attention. If your dog is healthy and beside you right now, this is a good time to notice them. The weight of their head on your leg, the way they breathe when they're sleeping next to you, the exact sound of their paws on the floor. These things are specific to your dog alone, and they are worth noticing. Dogs do not brace for endings the way we do. They do not spend their final days in dread. They spend them feeling whatever they feel, moving toward what brings comfort, staying close to the people who matter, and looking at you with those eyes that have always said more than either of you had words for. They know something is changing, and what they do with that knowledge every single time is turn toward love. That's all they've ever done. We make videos like this one for people who love their pets deeply, and there's always more to share. A like helps more people find this, people who might really need it today. And if you know someone going through this with their pet right now, quietly send it to them. Sometimes the right words at the right moment mean everything. Let us know in the comments how this video makes you feel and what other topics you might want us to discuss.